Hello, beautiful people. It has been a while since I have come on to share not a weather update, but an energy update with what's happening on the planet. There is so much going on. I see it within my clients, within myself, and just feeling everything from the collective. So I wanted to share with you some things that have been coming through for me over the last few years because it has been a while since I have come on. I think it's been a year and a half, maybe 2 years since I have shared the insights of the mermaids and the Mintakans. And yeah, today I'm going to be sharing again a little bit of an energy update with all of the things that I shared last time. And I'm also going to be sharing about the Great Awakening. My goodness, there's a lot happening with that. I'm also going to be sharing about cycles and where we're at with the cycles and yeah, how we can use this wisdom and information to help us, to help guide us, and to give us a little bit more clarity. You are not going crazy. You are perhaps just having an awakening or just questioning things. So I'm going to go into that. So, firstly, I wanted to just touch on this feeling. I've got my dog here, by the way. If you hear grunting, that's him. I wanted to just touch on something that I am seeing so much. I have been feeling the energy of the Great Awakening. There is a huge mass awakening happening. Oh my goodness. There was a massive one in 2020, huge mass awakening. And so many people started to go from 3D into 4D during 2020, just like researching and going down rabbit holes and questioning everything and like realizing that you are so much more than the identity in the body. You're so much more. And people started to, yeah, like things started dropping away, jobs started dropping away, friendships started dropping away because you're starting to vibrate in a different frequency. And what I'm noticing now is that there's another mass awakening happening. So 2020, and then there were like little tiny awakenings happening, little drops coming in. And when you have an awakening, there's many people that just stop and stay there in that, and they don't grow and learn. But I believe as a true light worker, you need to keep moving like the spiral. You need to keep moving and evolving and growing and looking at the shadow, looking at the light. I feel like when you have a mass awakening, when you have a Kundalini awakening or a intense awakening like what I went through in 2020, it can be really jolting on your nervous system. It can be really jolting on your mental health. And yeah, like a lot of people um, have stayed stuck in that and they haven't been evolving. So being stuck in the conspiracy theories or being stuck in, Trump's going to come and save us. Like all of that. I was there. I have no judgment. I was there and I am constantly looking at my shadow evolving. And what happens when you have a spiritual awakening? For those of you who have had one of those hardcore awakenings like me, it is scary. It is, I, I don't even really have words for it, but I had like a spiritual psychosis because I was so unstable. When I had my awakening, it was jolting. One minute I was asleep, fully asleep. The next minute I was fully awake. Not to everything, but it was shocking on my whole body. And there are some people that I've, connected with over the years who also experience that jolting spiritual awakening. And since then, so we're only 4 years in, I have grown so much, embodied so much teachings, and I'm getting my ears are ringing as I'm saying that. I have grown so much. And those of you that knew me pre 2020, you would know I'm not the same person at all. And many of my clients who also experienced an awakening, they aren't the same people either. They really needed to go through first solitude. They needed to process everything. They needed to be slow and try not to overload the psyche too much because that really disconnects them from what's actually happening. It's a natural process. I didn't have any psychedelics or anything for this to happen. This just naturally happened for me because my soul and my spirit was ready in 2020. If this had happened to me earlier, oh my God, I don't even know what would have happened to me. Um, but it happened when it needed to happen. And that's where I have so much compassion for everybody and where they're at on their spiritual journey, because I sometimes say I wish that I had have woken up earlier, but it was divine how it happened. I didn't force it. It was absolutely perfect. And for some people, they're not able to see. They're standing at the front of the door with no lights on. They can't see. And they might have a little bit of courage to turn on a light switch in the garage, and they might just see this tiny little bit of opening where they're starting to question maybe the government. And then they have a bit more courage to turn on the other light, and then they're questioning their identity. And then they can see all of these things that are hiding and lurking in the filing cabinets at the back of the garage, and they're going through the filing cabinets and they're going deeper into their soul. They're going deeper into finding themselves and coming back into pure essence. But we need to turn on those light switches in order to see what's lurking in the back, what's lurking in the back of the mind and the subconscious. We need to feel safe to turn that light on. And some people aren't there yet to even turn on the first light. So everybody is exactly where they need to be, and it's happening naturally. It's happening naturally. And so many people are waking up. So many people. And yeah, so with that can come a feeling of being really ungrounded, um, a feeling of like questioning everything. Am I actually going mad? I can't work out if this is reality or fantasy, or you start to question everything. So there's that, and that solitude part is really important. And then finding like-minded people to help you, support you, because we are meant to live in this world together. We're not meant to be in solitude behind the screens all the time. We're meant to be connecting heart to heart coherence. So then there's that's really important, to find the others, to find the others. There's so much magic that's happening on the planet right now. And yeah, it's like I personally feel this, and you may resonate if you woke up in 2020, that that was the preparation for what is about to come. What happened in 2020 is us preparing for the spiritual war. It's actually, that feels so true in my body when I say that. We're preparing for the next big awakening, and it's happening. And also with that, some things to be discerning about is to not put all your faith and trust in spiritual leaders and teachers, because egos are at high peak at the moment. I'm seeing it everywhere. So yeah, be really discerning with who you're spending your energy, who you're spending your time with, who you're listening to, what you're absorbing, and just making sure that it is like actually going to be purifying you, not adding in more egos and filling the beast. So, yeah, there's this great awakening that's happening. The other thing with the Great Awakening that I'm noticing is that a lot of people are turning towards Christ, Jesus Christ. And I was one of them. I ended up having another, I guess, spiritual awakening where Jesus came to me and it was profound. I thought that I had to go back to church. So I was asking him at the time when this was happening to me, what do I do? How do I change all of this? Because he's like, you don't need anything. You just need to go through me and this energy of Christ consciousness. And I was saying things like, well, what about my launch? Because I've launched these beautiful elemental myths as well, which are, dragon, fairies, mermaids. And it wasn't clear at the time. And with Christians, they believe that, you only work with Jesus. And so I felt like, oh, I've got to only work with Jesus because I had done a full circle. So I was raised a Catholic. Then I went into paganism and learning about the earth loving rituals and I guess witchcraft as well. And then coming from that and going back into the Celtic Christianity, which is blending the earth, blending the beautiful sacredness of the mother and the Celtic traditions of the Fae and the dragons and the mystical beings, but also blending that, which is pre-Christian, and blending in the loving, unconditional, pure energy that Jesus Christ has to offer. And so I tried to go back to church because I saw so many people converting to Christianity and getting baptized and everything. And for me personally, I have a lot of Christian friends. I have a lot of friends that are pagans and all different religions. But for me personally, I didn't resonate with going back into the church. And I feel like Jesus came to me to show me that I can do what feels right for me. And for me now I know that I can connect to my ancestors and the original teachings of Jesus. So yeah, I find that a lot of people are going towards Christianity, but you don't need to do anything. You don't need to go to church. You don't need to do so many Hail Marys. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to read a million books. You just need to connect into your heart. And a lot of people have lost that and they're absorbing through these external things. You don't need anything. You just need to connect to your soul essence and your heart and slow down by clearing the mind. So, yeah, that's one thing I'm noticing a lot. And that's why I created the Celtic Rose Academy because it really helps women purify their waters and connect to the sacred feminine mysteries, but also honoring the Holy Father as well. A just a devotion and connection to something that is bigger and more purposeful and like we're just these tiny little humans on this earth. And the light workers who are waking up and having these profound experiences, you will know if you're here for something greater, like a bigger purpose and a mission. And yeah, it's this it's this feeling of it coming from higher up. It's like you're here to anchor in this light and to be the bridge to the new earth. You're here to help guide others to the new earth, the children of the light, the golden children, the my grandma used to call them the indigo children. So these people, if you're here for that. And there's a lot of people waking up and automatically saying, oh my God, I'm here for something bigger. And then realizing actually maybe their purpose is to be that front line or to help guide people into more of a holistic healing. And then there's some people that are ushering in the new earth and bringing in communities. And so everyone's got an important role to play on the planet with this mass awakening. We've got astrologers that are really helping people connect to their true innate nature. We've got naturopaths and acupuncturists that are helping heal the body as we're ascending and descending. So when we are having this mass awakening, we're ascending and then we need to be anchored back in. So we've got to descend. I know it's taken me years to really descend back into the body. So yeah, the descending is really important as well to coming back and remembering that we're having a human experience. We are a soul with a body having a human experience. And let's have fun and enjoy this incredible new age like that we're going into. This is so exciting. I don't feel scared at all. I mean, I'm going to be sharing with you right now about the doomsday prepping and the cycles, and we're at the end and all of that. But I just want to, what's it called? I just want to give you a little insight before I start sharing about that is that everything is absolutely playing out for the greater good. We are seeing horrific things happen on the earth, and you can get really caught up in that darkness. I think it's really important to see what's going on and seeing the darkness playing out, but to not get caught up in that and remembering your mission and knowing that there is nothing to be scared of. When you start doing this work, you can face that darkness with conviction, and there's no wavering. You can stop running away from the beast and from the monsters or the devil, what the shadow, whatever you want to call it. You can stop running away and face it straight on. Like there's nothing to be scared about. Death is nothing to be scared about. So many people are prepping to, avoid death. So many people are scared of death, especially the baby boomer age where they have had a lot of trauma, they haven't been able to face it. Those generations are actually dying, but they're trying so hard to avoid it by taking pharmaceuticals and stopping the natural process that's actually meant to be happening. And then there's so much resistance on the deathbed as well, not just from pharmaceuticals, but resistance of seeing what they need to see in this lifetime. And I know for many of us, we're here to get off this karmic wheel, right? We don't want to keep going around and around. We're here to ascend and to go into revolution. And yeah, looking at death like it's the beginning of the new world, looking at death like it's not the end, it's just the beginning, and looking at death like you're going home. There's so many people that are in fear, as they know that the end of the epoch is here. We're coming into the new age. Usually, with a new age, every 12,000 years, there's a catastrophic event. This is prophesized. This is why we have been seeing it since the 60s. People talking about the new age of Aquarius and um, yeah, this revolution. It's actually happening right now. So much magic's happening. But yeah, we're at the end of an epoch, which means that there's usually a Messiah that comes. So that's why a lot of people are saying Jesus is coming back. That's why a lot of people are feeling Jesus within their bodies. He's helping us and guiding us to the light. Um, some people believe it's another master. Some people believe it's actually Jesus coming back. So yeah, just go with what feels right for you. But yeah, a lot of people are scared that this is the end of the world and they're prepping for doomsday and things like that. But there's nothing to be scared about because we are here. We've been placed here at this most pivotal moment in time. We've been plucked down and put here on this earth to help usher in the new earth, the new age of Aquarius. So if you're watching this, I know that you are feeling activated by this and excited um, and trusting as well. Maybe excited is not the right word. Maybe trusting and surrendering to what will be. What else did I want to say? Oh, yeah. So there is so much magic happening on the planet. So if you imagine that everybody starts waking up on the planet, you've got consciousness expansion, you have new awareness, you're vibrating at a different level. Imagine, so you know, if you've experienced awakenings, you'll know what I'm talking about. Your whole body starts to activate. It's like you're vibrating and you can feel it. And you start to attract people on the same vibration, and the old friends might die off and then you'll get new friends and they're on the same frequency. And when you start to awaken and everyone's starting to awaken, being more consciously aware of things, looking outside of this 3D perspective, looking at other realities and dimensions, imagine what that does to the earth and to the collective. Imagine. So we are nature beings. So if I wake up as a nature being, my mind expands, everything around me is going to be triggered by that. Even the trees, the earth underneath my feet, the people, my family, the people I hang out with, the clients I see, they're going to feel it through the screen, through in person. They're going to feel my energy. They're going to feel the activations that's happening when they're just around my frequency. But when you have an awakening, everything around your energetic field will activate and it affects everything. So, because of this, takes me back to ancient Atlantis when this was happening in Atlantean days as well, and in Lemurian days. So people were becoming more telepathic. They were feeling energy so intense, like you didn't need to say anything. You could just feel it and know exactly what that person needed, what was going on for them in their subconscious. It was like the Akashic records on steroids. Like it's incredible. When you start to wake up and connect to your womb as well, your womb, your own womb in your sovereign energy is the Akashic records. But what's happening now that everyone's waking up, it takes us back to those Lemurian days where we are, and Atlantean days where we are so in tune. We realize that everything is connected. There is this web of frequency and communication, and it starts to activate through the people, through the animals, through the plant kingdom, through the mineral kingdom. So, through all of the kingdoms, this is activating codes of remembering. So, many people may even have dreams of water. You may be dreaming of tsunamis, you may be dreaming of murky waters, clean waters. We're remembering Atlantean days. And during those days, there was this advanced technology that was coming from within the people and on the earth. And so there were interdimensional beings on the planet then at the time that were also working with humans as well. But what I'm feeling when I connect in with this energy is that there's so much magic being activated on the land, and the land is starting to remember. And it's like, wow, it's not 3D anymore. Like, this is it. This is it. Like, it is not 3D anymore. We are coming into the 5D, which is the love vibration, which is magic and mystical experiences. So you may be having mystical experiences that you can't explain, synchronicities. Um, you may think of someone and they might call you, or the energy might feel weird with someone, and you're like, whoa, what is that? What is that energy? That feels weird. And then you don't even need to say anything. It's just like, oh, wow, that's just changing and moving. And I'm going to just allow. I'm just going to allow. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to control. So, yeah, there's a lot happening with the Earth's frequency moving and shifting. And in my last video, I was mentioning the children of the light that are here to help guide us. So these kids are so tapped in, it's unreal. They are so tapped in. They are being called, dyslexic, or they're being called, autistic. They've got all these like labels, and people are trying to control them and like mold them into like these robotic people, like what we were like back in the 80s. These kids aren't going to do that. These kids are here to bring in more light. These kids are so awake. They they know exactly what's going on with the technology, with AI. They can feel it. They have so much self-awareness and confidence with what they're feeling within their body. They don't need anyone outside of themselves. There are concerns with the new age, the new generation coming in with the technology, even though they are aware of AI and the illusions, and being discerning with that. There is, well, there's an attack on them as well from the higher powers that are trying to take them off path. And remember that you have to keep choosing your path. Every decision that you make, everything that you're eating, everything that you're ingesting through TV, through music, it's all taking you on the path to where we're going and ushering in this new earth. We can easily get distracted and caught up. And so that's something that we have to be, yeah, a little bit weary of with the children of the light, to help them keep coming back to the mission and why they're here, and them not to be distracted by illusions, AI, things like that. The other thing I just wanted to touch on before we end is the ancient lands, really prevalent at the moment as well. So ancient Atlantis, ancient Avalon, Mesopotamia, Sumeria, all of these ancient lands and their remembrance of their frequencies of the earth are coming back. It's like they're coming back on, they're being switched back on, kind of like the ancient Egyptian pyramids, and Stonehenge and Avebury stones and all of these sacred sites that have been there for over 5,000 years. It feels to me, and I would love to hear from you and what you think, but it feels to me like they're being switched back on again, like they were turned off, laying dormant like a volcano, and now they're being switched back on. And so these ancient lands are calling us back. They're calling people back to these lands to put their footprints on the earth, to have their vibration, their own unique frequency on the earth. And for that frequency to flow through the body to activate a remembering of the old ways, so we can bring this in and usher this into the new earth. It's also going to be helping the earth by you going to those lands and connecting to her, connecting to that frequency of when these sites were activated. It's going to be helping her turn on as well. I think of it like those, well, Tesla charging station. It is like a charging station. Like those stones that were put on the earth into the ground were like charging stations for extraterrestrials, for other uh, enlightened beings to come through, to usher in this new light. Yeah, I feel like the earth really needs our frequency to help be that battery. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like the earth is calling the souls that need to come forward and to stand on that earth, on that sacred site, to awaken its power. My dog. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. And by you doing that and going on this pilgrimage, which is not about you going on a holiday, um, it's much deeper. It's much bigger than you just going on an airplane and sitting sipping pina coladas while you're in Italy or whatever. Well, you could do that. That would be so fun. But yeah, the purpose is to go there and to connect to those sites and yeah, really have those activations happen within you and then within the earth. And then so then you can bring that forward to your community as well. Yeah. So I am so grateful to be back on here. I would love to share more insights about the Fae and the giants and all of the mystical beings. If you've got any questions, please reach out. And yeah, I hope that this video has helped you navigate these times of great change. I'm sending you so many blessings.